wonderful night tonight. And it's what, Tuesday night, the 23rd of December, 2025. We're almost at the end where we're at Christmas, right? So everyone is hustling and bustling, trying to prepare themselves for the holiday. Um, I know some people are last minute shoppers like me, or some people are already prepared. Everything is all set. Some people already celebrated Christmas. They already celebrate because most people have started prepping since November before Thanksgiving. So most people are done and ready and just ready for the new year, ready for the next holiday, which is what America normally do, have us rushing from one thing to the next. We're just racing through time. We're not taking our time to relax and think. So the topic today is, does Christmas really expose class disparity? And that's something that's been really heavy on my mind because I told a friend that I only buy two gifts for my kids. I don't buy more than two Christmas gifts for them because I buy them things all year round. And that's just the rule of my house. Because when they were younger, I used to buy so many gifts and they would look at the gifts and then just the next minute they would be bored of the gifts. So thought that was a waste of money. You know, I thought that was a waste of money to buy so many gifts for my children and they weren't appreciating the gifts. So the rule now in my house is to buy one big gift and then a tiny gift. Big meaning a monetary bigger gift and then a cheaper gift. Because we buy our kids things all year and it's not a big deal. My kids are not like picky kids, but my topic today is, does Christmas expose class disparity? There's a lot of people who are in financial distress in 2025 due to the inflation and due to what's happening in the United States or even in the world. Look at the big hurricane in Jamaica where people, they lost all their houses. They have nowhere to live. I went to church on Sunday and they showed a video where people, they have no roofs, they have no houses, they're sleeping outside. They don't have what we have, and everyone here is just hustling and bustling about Christmas gift. And I guess the world in America have desensitized. They just detach themselves from everything all over the world. A tragedy may happen somewhere and it's like they're not impacted within their families, so they just ignore it. So my thing is, Christmas does expose class disparity in the US because it shows that the wealthy, their lavish gifts, their expensive gifts that they spend on, when you drive through neighborhoods, you see the houses with the lights are filled. Their houses are all decorated, lights are filled. Everything on social media, it pushes it in our face. The people who have the nicest decorations in their house, the lavish decorations in their house. Hello, how are you? The lavish decorations. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying there's just a disparity, like you can tell the low class from the high class. And I think the pressures of Christmas, it's a big weight on someone's shoulder that they have to pay their rent, and they're using their rent money to buy gifts for their children because they want to please their children and they want their children to keep up with the Joneses, or they want to keep up with the Joneses, you know Merry Christmas. Um, they want to keep up with the Joneses. Yes, all holidays there is a disparity because, you know, um, some people cannot keep up, and social media, I think, have made it very bad for low class. I'm not calling anyone low class, I would say low income, because yes, there's a gap with low income, the wealthy, middle class, and the lower income. So you can't try to keep up with the wealthy because they have wealth. They can spend how they want. They can buy luxury however they want. They can spend lavishly and they'll still have a big fat bank account. When you're of a lower income class, you cannot do that because you must save for emergencies. You must save for a rainy day. You must have food for your kids, you know? You must have food for your kids. I feel like in 2025, don't give these kids these expensive gifts, like VR headset, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation. What would that teach the children? And I'm just stating those items because that's something that my children will ask for, those things. And I will think, how will that benefit you in the future? That will not benefit you in the future. Those things will not benefit my children. So it's best if you're giving your kids gift, give them like a bank account, teach them how to save, teach them how to invest, because these gifts, you're wasting your money. And it's like we're in 2025 and the gifts are not getting cheaper, it's getting more expensive. If we're in an inflation, the country is in a economic crisis, a financial economic crisis. Why is Christmas pushed into our faces so much? Why is Christmas just pushed in our faces? It's like nothing have stopped. And guys, I work in a financial industry, so I can see the economic crisis. I see it. So I'm not just talking from just talking and not knowing anything. It's things that I am seeing. So why are they pushing consumers to buy when there's such a issue with there's inflation in America and there's so many issues in the world with finance? Why? And I'm not telling anyone to not celebrate Christmas because uh, the reason for Christmas, it has completely gone out the window. It was to celebrate Christ, but now people are celebrating it by gifts. Even the Christians, they're celebrating it with gifts. They're not celebrating it based on Christ. It's all about gifts, giving gifts. I don't need a gift for Christmas because I can buy a gift for myself. I always tell people that I don't need a Christmas gift. But why do people stress themselves out, spending money that they don't have to buy these gifts? For what? It's not worth it. The meaning of Christmas to me, it's the gifts, it's not worth it. And people might come for me or get upset, but me personally, I don't think it's worth it. It's killing the economy. It's stressing people out. It's causing lots of anxiety. And it's crazy how it's pushed into our faces starting October. Christmas is pushed in your face like you have to buy this. You don't really have to buy it, but it's placed in our faces. And there's so many people suffering. Like, there's over 900 billionaires in the United States. 900 billionaires in the United States. And there's on this Christmas that's coming up, if you drive around the street, there's so many homeless people. They're standing there begging for money, or people, it's cold and they're still homeless. It's cold where I'm from, and you see people on the street. You see people in dilapidated situations. You see people in certain houses that they don't need to be in, people who are getting evicted. Why are there so many billionaires in the United States and there's so much homelessness and so much financial crisis in the world? What's happening? Is it a political thing? Why is that happening? That's what I'm wondering. There should not be any homelessness. There should not be any poverty, you know, if we have so many billionaires. It's just telling us that the money is there. We should not have any poverty. There shouldn't be a low class and a high class. There should not be such a gap in the income in the United States or even over the world. Who decided who should be a billionaire and who should be a low class economic class? Who decided that? And do you guys really think the billionaires work harder than a regular person? No, they do not. They don't work hard. Not all of them work harder, you know? Not all of them work harder. There's people who work hard their whole life and they don't make it to billionaire status. But my thing for this season, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to spend all your last earned money for gifts, and set a limit. Set a limit on your spending, because we are in a recession in the United States. We are in a recession. I think a lot of people ignore it, but we definitely are in a recession. Don't let the people on social media fool you. Some of them are paid. They're given those decorations for free. They're given these items that they're pushing in your faces for free. They're paid to do what they're doing. So they're doing a job pretty much. You're selling to consumers these products and items, but don't fall for it. You know, you have to support your family. You have to have a safety net for your family, and you have to be smart and wise when it comes to finances, you know? But you have to be smart. Yes, the media has definitely made it worse, you know. Yep, for TikTok and Instagram, and TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Sometimes, guys, I just don't go on TikTok or Instagram because they just push it in your face. These luxury items that the regular folks cannot afford. Regular people can't afford it. I'm not saying they can't buy it, because they can, but they're probably spending their rent money or their food money or something. They're just doing crazy things, So for this Christmas, guys, just be careful. Don't overspend. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses, because there are people who can afford Christmas. They can. I don't think Christmas is for the poor. I'm not saying that the poor should not celebrate themselves. The poor should not the poor should celebrate themselves. Yes, you can buy gifts, but you have to just budget and be careful, because the luxury items, the lights, I drive around, I see lavish lights, and I'm not telling anyone not to celebrate. If you have the means, go ahead. I'm just saying it exposes the rich from the poor, the wealthy from the poor, you know there's like I said, I went to Skid Row in California. Skid Row, I drove by Skid Row, and it was so many homeless, so many homeless. And I always talk about California have so many celebrities, so many rich people. Why are there homeless people? These people they're addicted. They have addictions. Yes, they may have addictions, but there's means to help them. You can have facilities to help these individuals with addiction. If you have money, you can get these people off the street. As glamorous as California is, I do not want to go back because of the homelessness. When I go on any vacation and I see a homeless person, it makes me very sad. It makes me, I'm wondering what's happening. How can you be happy? How can you just live life like it's okay when so many people are suffering? There's no way a normal person, you see someone suffering and you're going to smile, and worry about what am I getting on Christmas for a gift? No, I can't do that. I cannot know that people in Jamaica they have no house. Guys, I'm from Jamaica. They have no house. They have no roof. Some of them don't have means to take a shower. They have to go use the bathroom outside. Think of the women, on their monthly. I'm sorry, guys, for saying that. Think of them, what they have to go through, you know? Some of them are not getting help from the government. The government don't know of them because they're in places so far away. They're not reached yet. People are still needing help. People who are homeless need help. People who are low class income need help. There should be no low class or high class. So, I wonder, why does someone need to be a billionaire? And if you are a billionaire, why aren't you helping the country? You know? Why aren't you helping the country, and why are you helping others? So this Christmas, guys, please don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Try to don't get fooled by the consumer guilt, or don't feel guilty. Like I mentioned, in my household, I only buy two gifts per person. I don't care how anyone feels. My tree i my tree will not be piling over with gifts, and it's not like I can't afford it. I just choose not to do it. I choose not to fall for Christmas. I do celebrate Christmas, because I shouldn't say that. I choose not to become broke because of a holiday. If you have a family, your family get gifts all year. Do you buy for your children all year? Do you buy for your spouse all year? Do you buy for your family? Yes, we do that. We take each other out to eat. But to fall for this holiday, it can cause any stress. Yes, the lights are exciting. Yes, it's beautiful. But what is it for? What's the reason for this season? If they're saying it's for Christ, I don't see that Christ is celebrated on Christmas. People are drinking, laughing, giving out gifts, getting drunk. How is that celebrating Christ? How is it celebrating Christ? I don't understand, you know, and I'm not saying don't celebrate Christmas. I'm not saying don't celebrate Christmas. I'm just saying don't fall for the okie doke. And also, like for me, I have a son that has a birthday the day after Christmas. And I was asked, does he want a gift for his Christmas or his birthday? To me, his birthday come first. Why would I put my Christmas over my own child? He has a birthday. He is a person. We all celebrate our birthday. All of us have a date where we were born that's special to us. Why should his birthday be dismissed because it's the day after Christmas, Don't treat people that way that's born around any holiday, that their birthday should be dismissed. Christmas doesn't overpower anyone's birthday. Christmas is a day, yes, everyone goes crazy over Christmas, but if you are born on the 25th of December, you still have to celebrate your birthday. If you are born the 26th of December, you still have to celebrate your birthday. Christmas is not greater than someone's birthday in December. So I'm not in Dubai. No, I'm not. And I don't know if they celebrate Christmas in Dubai. You can let me know in the comments. I'm just talking about how Christmas is, well, some people think Christmas is a scam. They think it's a scam. It's really to get the consumers, you know. And of course, I celebrate Christmas, but I feel like the older I get, the less I'll celebrate Christmas. To me, it's way too stressful. It's just too much. It's everything is in your face. You have to do this, you have to do that. And no, you don't. You don't have to pay attention to everything is pushed in your face through social media, especially TikTok. All the kids are in TikTok now, and it's placed in your face, you know? And I'm telling you guys that Christmas does expose the financial disparity. It exposes the rich from the poor. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses in 2025 and 2026, because you'll be sorry. The best thing, guys, is to become debt free and live a free life, especially if you're in America. America has taught us that we have to work and purchase items that we don't need. If you watch all these people on TikTok and Instagram, the things that they're trying to sell us, do we really need it? You know, we don't need it. We don't need everything that they're trying to place in our faces. And those individuals get their items for free. They don't pay for things, but they're trying to have you buy it. And I understand they're doing a job, that's their career, but don't go broke trying to keep up with them. Don't go broke trying to buy products that an influencer have. And some of the influencers are living a fake life. You know, their lives are not real. Some of them don't live in the houses that they're displaying or portraying to us. They don't live in those houses, you know? So you have to be careful of who you look up to on social media, who is your inspiration, who is your guide, and who you look up to. So the income disparity, be careful, guys. In 2025, try to budget. The year is ending. Make a plan on budgeting. Don't fall for Christmas. If you do Christmas, start from January, you know, put money aside. But at the end of the year, what would you want to do with that money? You would want to put it in an investment or savings to help you and your kids in the future. You know, these billionaires and these billionaires, they have money upon money upon money. You know, their money cannot go dry from a Christmas gift. Their money cannot go dry. I'm telling you, they're not spending their money. That's why they're rich. You know, they're not spending on Christmas. They're not buying foolish gifts for their kids. They're not doing that, you know. Their Christmas are different. They're investing, trying to get businesses, trying to get land for their kids, trying to get investments, you know. That's the mind of the rich. They're not trying to keep up with the Joneses because of what they are, the Joneses. They're the ones we're all trying to keep up with. You know, so in at Christmas, don't go broke. You know, don't go broke trying to pretend that you're rich. You don't have to do that. You know, don't do that in 2025. Don't go broke trying to be rich. You know, take care of your finances, take care of your family. You know, if you have rent to pay, pay your rent. If you're getting kicked out of your house, why would you celebrate Christmas? Who would be happy if they're getting evicted and they're worried about Christmas? No, they're not. Guys, I know plenty of people who are doing that. You know, they don't have anywhere to stay and they're celebrating Christmas. You know, and don't be sad if you don't have the means to celebrate Christmas. Don't get upset. Don't be sad. It will come for you. It will come next year. It will come this year. Don't be sad if you don't have the means. Just don't try to keep up. Don't try to keep up, you know? And that's pretty much what I came on to say today, that the income disparity is not good in the United States, and for people to try to, you know, budget better, try to, you know, we are in a recession. Be careful with how you spend your money. Don't fall for the hype of Christmas. Yes, you can celebrate your family if you like, but don't feel pressured to do it. Don't feel pressured to do something that you don't do. If you don't celebrate Christmas, it's okay. Don't feel pressured to, you know, purchase these lavish gifts to show on social media. If you don't have it, it's okay. You know, you don't have to show your life on social media. You don't have to show off anything. If you don't have it, you don't have it. You know, the millionaires are not showing off. There's millionaires hidden beside us, probably next door, and they're not showing things off. They're living very frugal lives because sometimes that's how they become millionaires, because they're frugal. You know, you guys have to, if have money saved for your children, learn how to budget and finance and become better spenders. I know they try to push Christmas in our faces, but The older I get, sorry, the older I get, the less I will be celebrating Christmas. You know, I would rather spend on a trip and go relax somewhere. It's just too much, it's too stressful, and I don't see the point of it all. You know, I don't see the point. Yes, you like to see that your family, excuse me, you like to see that your family is happy for a gift, but kids are giving gifts throughout the year. Excuse me. And I don't understand, if your child is getting an F, why are you giving them a gift? Why are you giving kids gifts that are not doing well in school? You know? Why are you spoiling the kids? They should not be entitled to want a gift for Christmas if they're not doing well in school. You know? They should not be entitled to want a gift for Christmas. But it's, I can't tell anyone what to do with their child or what to do with their house. So I'm just saying, financially, you have to be careful, because they the companies don't care about, um the companies don't care about your finances. They just want your money. They don't care if you can't pay your rent tomorrow. They just want you to buy something. Sure, you can ask. They just want you to buy a present. I don't think children are entitled to everything and everything that we have to offer. I don't agree with that statement, because your children don't work. They don't work. When your children are of a certain age, they don't work and they're not entitled to everything. I don't care if they're my child, they're not entitled to everything that I have. And that's the problem with America. They feel like they have to spoil their kid and give them everything, and it's not true. Your children have to learn to work hard and to provide for themselves. You know, that's why a lot of kids are spoiled. Do you see what kids are doing to parents nowadays? Look at that Reiner guy, that celebrity guy. Do you see what, you can spoil a kid and give them everything? They feel entitled. A lot of kids are very disrespectful in America. They're disrespectful. They have no respect. They don't know how to treat their parents. They use their parents at an older age, and it's, they're not entitled. Yes, at a certain age I will give my kids everything and I will take care of them, but if my child is showing disrespect when they come of age, no, I am not going to spoil them and give them my hard earning, because I had to work. I had to get up and work. And if my kid cannot learn that they have to work hard for what they want, then yes, it sucks to be them, because I am raising kids that know how to provide and work hard for themselves. My kids will never, everything that I have to offer is not yours, and that's the problem with America. They spoil their kids, and the kids in America are very disrespectful. They're hurting their parents, and they just do whatever they want. And a lot of them don't want to work. They don't want to work when they get of age. They don't know how to survive in normal society. They just don't, they're very spoiled and entitled. And so that's the problem. Kids should not be spoiled and entitled. They shouldn't think everything their parents have is theirs. I'm an adult. My parents have a house, they have cars. Everything is not mine. It's theirs. It's theirs. If they want to leave it for me, yes, I'll accept it. But if they don't have to leave it for me, because it's not mine. I didn't work to pay the mortgage for their house. They're working to pay their mortgage. And that's what I'm saying about America entitlement and, rich kids and things like that. Kids have to work hard. Why are we raising kids? What's the point? We're raising children to do what? To just live off of you your whole life? And that's what I'm noticing. The kids are, a lot of adult kids are not work. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Kids are kids are kids are should not be entitled, and kids hurt children. So kids do things to hurt their parents. So I just feel like, yes, if you want to leave things for your children, you can, but it's up to you, you know? It's up to you. People can treat their kids how they want to treat their kids, and it's up to you how you want to treat your children. But I just feel like, each your own. I know people who say they won't leave their kids. There's no life insurance for kids because their kids have to work. When your kids are adults, they have to work. Yes, you can leave things for them, but you have to teach your kids responsibilities, independence, how to survive in the world. If you're able to get up and go to work every day, you have to teach your kids that they have to do that too. There's no way that I'm 70 or so, and my kid at what 40 will depend on me. That's not good. That's not good at all. It's like you'll never be done raising children. You'll never be done raising children. So guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, the income disparity, and how you have to be careful about what you provide to your kids, and not to your kids. Well, if you're struggling financially, to be careful of what you spend on Christmas, because the rich have money that goes far, and the poor, they have to think about what meal they're buying tomorrow. How are they going to support their family? How are they going to support the pay for their electric bill, or pay for heating, or pay for food for their family? So this Christmas, be conscious of how you're spending. We're in a recession, so be careful. If you can't afford it, don't buy it, and don't try to keep up with the Joneses, you know? And that is what I would love to let you guys know, to understand that you have to do what you want, do what you like. And all the information about what's happening is just my opinion. It's not facts. It's how I feel. You know, it's not that say all be all. You know, people can do what they'd like to do, and that's pretty much what I am saying. So that's pretty much what I am saying. So I would love for people, hi Rose, to be conscious this holiday season. And if you want to spoil your child, you can. But me personally, I know kids act entitled, but I don't feel like kids should be entitled to everything their parents have. If a kid doesn't treat their parents properly, then they should not be entitled. Happy holidays, um, Gove. Happy holidays. With all that said, I hope everyone enjoy their holidays. I hope, if you do have to spend, you spend how you want to. Just be careful. You know, I just be careful, guys, how you would like to spend, because we are in a recession. We are definitely in a recession. I know a lot of people are just ignoring it and just acting like it's not there, but we definitely are in a recession. There's jobs who you think, companies that you think will be there forever will not be there. There's jobs who you think that will be there forever that will not be there. AI is taking over a lot of jobs, and a lot of people will be losing their jobs due to that. So you have to be careful, enjoy your holiday, and be careful, just be conscious of how you're spending, be conscious of what's happening in the market. you know you have to protect your family, you have to protect your assets and protect everything, protect your future. Christmas is one day. Christmas is one day. You have to protect your future. I'm not saying not to enjoy the holidays, but don't go broke trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't go broke trying to, don't have a heart attack trying to keep up with Christmas. I always say I celebrate Christmas, but I don't like the hustle and bustle of Christmas. It always gives me anxiety because I have to do this, I have to do that. I will start early and I still end up, last minute. I start early with decorating and I still end up last minute because the thought of everything that we have to do, it just gives me anxiety and it just deter my mood from the holiday. I do enjoy the day with family, but it's just the process. To me, I don't get the point, but it is what it is. That's what we were raised to do, and that's what we were taught. But I feel as I get older, I will not be partaking because of how it makes me feel. Yes, it's exciting. I do get excitement, but I do get a lot of anxiety from the hustle and bustle of the holidays. So that's how I feel. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. And right, that's what I'm saying. It does not feel like the holidays. Normally, I feel excited. I'm more, but it just feels like something is off. Just the way the things are in the world, the market, everything, all these things happening in America and over the world, it just makes you feel like, you don't want to celebrate. You want to actually humble yourself and think about life, the purpose and the meaning of life. Think about, what is the meaning of life? What is the true meaning of life? Or what is the true meaning of Christmas? A lot of people are not that deep. They just think it's about gift giving and spending time with your family. But it goes deeper than that. I know people have made it that way, and it's very good to be careful of what's happening in the market and be careful of, you know, Christmas itself. And that's what I wish for everyone in 2025. I know a lot of us are not in the mood. Trust me, I've spoken to plenty of people and we're not in the mood. We have I have my decorations up. I had my decorations up since November. And I still have not gotten in the mood of Christmas. I have not gotten in the mood of Christmas. You know, it just is not the same. you know so I just hope everyone have a very I hope everyone have a great holiday with all that's being happening in the world. If your family was affected by any storm, any tsunami, like what happened in the Caribbeans, any family that, you lost a family member this year, I just hope that you have you have a lot of love around you this holiday. You have a lot of warmth, even with Sorry about that, guys. So, I was just, yeah. So I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. I hope that you stay safe, stay warm, and, don't go broke. Try to keep up with the Joneses. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And I will definitely come back on to talk to you tomorrow. You know, I will definitely come back on to talk to you tomorrow. And I hope you guys stay warm and stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night. Bye bye.